Welcome back to my channel. Today we will learn about one of the most intense and emotionally charged moments in recent episodes of CBS's The Bold and the Beautiful. This is a storyline that has left fans absolutely stunned, featuring the kind of raw, unfiltered drama that defines the show. We're diving deep into the blood-soaked confrontation at Il Giardino restaurant, where family loyalty, romantic entanglements, and decades of tension finally exploded into violence. So stick around as we break down every detail of this shocking confrontation between Ridge Forrester and Deacon Sharp. The tension that erupted at Il Giardino didn't emerge from nowhere. It was built on layers of mistrust, family protectiveness, and the kind of complicated history that only a soap opera can deliver. Ridge Forrester, the patriarch of the powerful Forrester fashion empire, has always been fiercely protective of his family members. When he began hearing whispers and rumors from his daughter Steffi about something inappropriate developing between Taylor Hayes and Deacon, Sharpridge's protective instincts went into overdrive. These weren't just casual rumors. Steffi's concerns suggested something dark and troubling was happening, something that threatened to exploit a vulnerable family member. Taylor Hayes has been through an enormous amount of trauma and emotional turmoil over the years. She's a character who has experienced loss, betrayal, and psychological pain that would test anyone's resilience. In her current state of emotional fragility, the idea that someone like Deacon Sharp, a man with a checkered past and questionable motives, might be moving in on her was absolutely unacceptable to Ridge. In Ridge's mind, Taylor deserved protection and respect, not predatory behavior from someone looking to exploit her vulnerability or gain leverage against the Forrester family. Ridge couldn't sit idle with this information. As someone who has always believed in direct action and confronting problems head-on, he made the decision to drive straight to Il Giardino, the upscale restaurant where Deacon works. This wasn't going to be a calm, civilized conversation. Ridge was operating from pure emotion, pure paternal and protective instinct. He stormed into the kitchen area of the restaurant, his eyes locked on Deacon Sharp, ready for a reckoning that had been building for far too long. What happened next was the kind of physical confrontation that shocks viewers and becomes the talk of the fan community for weeks. Ridge grabbed Deacon by the collar of his shirt with a fury that showed just how deeply the alleged transgression had affected him. This wasn't a gentle warning or a pointed finger, this was raw, visceral anger. Ridge physically pushed Deacon back against the wall with considerable force, making it absolutely clear that he meant business. The message Ridge delivered was unambiguous and direct. Deacon needed to stay away from Taylor, the mother of Ridge's children, immediately and permanently. There was no room for negotiation, no gray area, no possibility of misunderstanding what Ridge was demanding. Ridge's accusations cut right to what he believed was Deacon's true motivation. In Ridge's eyes, Deacon wasn't genuinely interested in Taylor as a person or as a woman worthy of respect. Instead, Ridge was convinced that Deacon was deliberately manipulating Taylor's emotional fragility as a weapon. Ridge suspected that Deacon saw Taylor's vulnerable mental and emotional state as an opportunity, a chance to exploit someone who was weakened by past trauma, someone who might be more susceptible to manipulation and control. Furthermore, Ridge believed Deacon's ultimate goal wasn't romance at all, but revenge. Ridge theorized that Deacon was using Taylor as a tool to strike back at the entire Forrester family, to hurt them where it mattered most, to prove that he could infiltrate their inner circle and cause chaos from within. But Deacon Sharp wasn't about to accept Ridge's aggression without a response. Despite being physically overwhelmed and backed against the wall, Deacon fought back. He returned Ridge's aggression with a powerful punch that connected squarely with Ridge's face, sending the fashion magnate reeling. This moment was crucial because it showed that Deacon wasn't going to be intimidated into submission, regardless of Ridge's superior physical positioning or his family's wealth and power. Deacon had his own perspective on the situation, his own justifications for his actions, and he wasn't going to allow Ridge to bully him into backing down. The fight between these two men quickly spiraled completely out of control. What had started as a focused confrontation between two men with a specific grievance rapidly transformed into a chaotic brawl. Fists flew, bodies collided, and the sophisticated restaurant kitchen became a battleground. Other restaurant staff members witnessing this violence erupting in their workplace had no choice but to intervene. They rushed in to separate the two men, trying to restore order and prevent further injury. It was the kind of scene that would be impossible to keep quiet. Multiple witnesses, physical damage, and the involvement of two prominent Los Angeles figures ensured that word of this confrontation would spread quickly through the city's social circles. But even as staff members were pulling the two men apart, Ridge wasn't finished. His anger hadn't been satisfied by the physical altercation. As he was being separated from Deacon, Ridge made a declaration that demonstrated the seriousness of the threat he posed to Deacon's continued presence in Los Angeles. Ridge explicitly swore that he would find a way to drive Deacon out of the city by any means necessary. This wasn't an idle threat from someone who lacked the resources or determination to follow through. Ridge Forrester had decades of experience in business, an extensive network of connections, and the kind of wealth and influence that could make life extremely difficult for someone he had decided to target. The promise Ridge made wasn't just about winning a fight. It was about wielding the full force of his power and influence to ensure that Deacon would have no choice but to leave Los Angeles. This confrontation at Il Giardino represents a pivotal moment in the ongoing power dynamics between these characters. It's a moment where family, honor, romantic entanglement, and the clash between different moral frameworks collides in spectacular fashion. Ridge believes he's protecting his family from a predator. Deacon believes he's being unfairly judged and attacked for his feelings. And the restaurant staff is caught in the middle of a conflict that has nothing to do with them, but that they're forced to witness and experience. The implications of this fight extend far beyond the immediate moment of violence. This confrontation sets in motion a series of consequences that will ripple through the lives of multiple characters. Ridge's vow to remove Deacon from Los Angeles is a serious threat that can't be dismissed as mere angry words spoken in the heat of battle. This is a man who has spent his entire life achieving his goals, overcoming obstacles, and bending circumstances to his will. If Ridge has decided that Deacon needs to go, then Deacon's presence in the city is now genuinely endangered. For Taylor, this violent confrontation puts her in an incredibly awkward position. The man she cares about has just been physically assaulted by her ex-husband in a very public setting. She's likely to feel conflicted, grateful perhaps for Ridge's protective instinct, but also concerned about the violence and what it means for Deacon's safety and his future in Los Angeles. This could create tension between Taylor and Ridge, and it might also force Taylor to make difficult choices about where her loyalties truly lie. The restaurant staff who witnessed this event are now positioned as potential sources of gossip and information. In a show like The Bold and the Beautiful, information travels fast, and it's almost certain that details of this confrontation will reach other characters spreading through Los Angeles' elite social networks. People will take sides, form opinions, and use this incident as ammunition in their own personal conflicts and dramas. This confrontation also reveals something important about Ridge's character and his worldview. He's willing to resort to physical violence when he believes his family is threatened. He's willing to make public threats and to use his power in direct aggressive ways. This isn't the behavior of someone interested in nuance or in considering alternative explanations. This is the behavior of someone who has decided on a course of action and will pursue it relentlessly regardless of consequences. The fight at Il Giardino is the kind of moment that defines soap opera drama. It's visceral, it's emotionally charged, it's visually dramatic, and it has serious consequences for multiple characters moving forward. It's the kind of scene that fans will be discussing, analyzing, and debating for weeks to come. Did Ridge go too far? Was he justified in his protective reaction? Is Deacon truly the predator Ridge believes him to be? Or is he being unfairly vilified? These are the questions that will drive the narrative forward and keep audiences engaged. Thank you so much for watching today's breakdown. This confrontation between Ridge and Deacon at Il Giardino is absolutely pivotal to understanding the current dynamics on The Bold and the Beautiful. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss any updates about your favorite soap opera storylines. We'll be bringing you more in-depth analysis of all the drama, all the romance, and all the plot twists that make this show so compelling. See you in the next video.